Hey, Adam. It's Zach and Dan. Thanks for taking a few
Hello.
minutes.
What's happening, everybody?
Dude, Levine, how are you today?
Doing pretty good, man. Feeling good. My whole house has been sick. Kids, everybody. So
Yo, stay
that
safe.
sucks, but that's what happens with kids.
Yeah, totally. And by the way, a lot of people are going through that right now. It's happening internally in our studio today. We're having our own family sickness that is just traveling. Are you... Question.
Yeah, it's a petri dish.
Yeah, you get really close to people. Obviously, May 30th, tour kicks off in Chula Vista. What is the process like today preparing for a Maroon 5 show compared to years past? Has it changed? Is it the same?
I think you just have to basically be ready for just about anything because it possibly will be the craziest night of your life. That sound good?
Yeah. But what kind of
Preparing for Maroon 5? I don't know how to prepare. Like I don't know. I don't prepare for much. But I guess you talking about me preparing or like people coming to see the show.
I mean,
me personally.
Do you feel like you have to top this tour compared to the tours in the past? Like, do you put pressure on yourself, or do you just go out there and do your thing? Because
Of course I do. Yeah, I put an immense amount of pressure on myself. Probably not even a healthy amount of pressure, but I feel like maybe that has something to do. Maybe that has something to do with why we're still able to do it. At this level and continue to grow and continue to get better. I mean, honestly, my dream in life was to be an athlete, but that didn't happen. So my second dream was my default dream that was probably just as important to me, actually, was music. So I kind of like to treat it like pretend like I'm an athlete and say, okay, how ready can I be for this? Mentally, physically, everything. It's awesome. It's so much fun.
A lot of it is a muscle, right? Like whether it's writing a song or your actual vocal cords, like that's a legitimate muscle, But it is kind of like
singing is a sport.
Yeah.
People don't really realize, especially like you've been doing it a long time. When you start out, you just sing and whatever comes out of you comes out of you. But I spend so much time now doing things that I would never admit to doing because it's embarrassing. But you have to take care of your voice, especially if you're the shows have gotten longer. They're more physically demanding from a vocal perspective, and it's really tough. Like you have to. Look, it's not exactly the hardest thing in the world, but it definitely takes care. You have to really take care of yourself, which personally I really enjoy. So it's a good match.
How do you how deep will you go with every tour? Like, how do you balance the set list when you have so many hits that span so many years?
I think we're starting to realize that it's hard. It's weird. It's a hard thing to do. You have to take songs from every little phase of your career and put them in the set and find a kind of unique and interesting and new way to do things. It's a puzzle for sure. It's kind of like a Rubik's Cube, and we like to always try to make it different. I honestly believe, though, that as long as we think that it's the best tour of our career, hopefully it will manifest as one of the best tours of our career. I never like to do, I don't want to go back. I don't like the comfort of the same thing. I get bored. So, it always changes. The whole tone of the set changes.
Memories is this beautiful, honest, true record that gave me it was exactly what I needed to hear at that point in my life because of what I was going through. But at the same time, it gave me vintage Maroon 5 vibes. It was the perfect amount of past and present, at least for me. Does that really thank you for the song because of how honest it is and how true. I think I say that on behalf of a lot of people who were touched by it.
Well, thank you, man. I mean, that means, that's, we do it for ourselves and we want it to be personal and we want to connect to it I need to connect with whatever we're doing. But at the same time, other people's connection to songs, especially a song like this, is vital to what the song will be in the long term, So I just love that everybody has that reaction because that's the reaction that I felt in a weird way. Like we kind of we all needed it together as a people, It was just kind of that moment where I felt, wow, this is a special time to do something really different. But I feel like honest to God, I feel like as I get a little older and as the band evolves and progresses, you start listening to yourself a little bit less and kind of taking the pulse of what's happening in the world to kind of help guide what you're going to do musically because you want to share that with people and you want to hopefully have that reaction to what you do because it's important. You know, we're all kind of in this together. There's one race, you know, and we're all human beings, man. It's a crazy world right now. So, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm
you're cool.
Bleep that out, but you know, it's really special to be in the position that we're in at this time.
That's a really interesting acknowledgement of like how you've progressed not only as like a human being but also as an artist. Like the older you get, the more you tap into the world around you. So would you say your art becomes like less selfish because maybe your songs before were more about you?
Definitely, 100%. You can't look. I think in a lot of ways, in order to make it, you have to be really selfish in the beginning. You know, it's definitely a process. You know, and when you're young, it's all about me, and oh, here's what I want, and as an artist, I want this and that, and then, you know, you kind of once you pull your head out of your ass, which, you know, and mine was way up there, but you know, once you do it, you kind of realize there's so much more that you can experience creatively, and even beyond the creative in your life. So I'm a very lucky guy to have even been close to enlightened enough to feel like that.
Do you remember the moment your head was removed from your behind?
No, there was no surgery.
Was there one defining moment where you saw the light?
It kind of happened slowly. No, it was gradual. You can't yank it all. Really, you can't yank it too hard because then, you know, it'll pop right off your neck. So it got to be a slow process.
Wow. No, but it really is true, right? Because like too much at once is almost like a shock to the system, and like I don't know. And the more gradual something is, the more times you have to fail and then learn from those failures. So I get that. I understand. Like,
definitely. You know, I think that selfishness is probably as vital as selflessness because in your life you have to be able to be both. I don't think the full spectrum of your experience as a person on this earth is realized fully unless you're able or lucky to be able to experience all of them. Some people are just trapped, you know. Totally. Inside either one, you know, and you kind of like, if you have a nice trajectory and you know, I think a lot of people get to have it, and we hopefully can inspire those who don't or don't have it yet and help them to get there. You know, it's a weird, very esoteric, very vague conversation we're having, but I like it.
Do you feel fulfilled? Does music fulfill you?
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. I mean, no, yes and no. Like I feel like fulfillment is dangerous. You have to be fulfilled in the right ways. You know, so like totally. On a personal level, absolutely. Creatively, I'll never be fulfilled.
Yeah, because fulfillment leads to comfort, and then comfort leads to you stop trying, stop innovating. You kind of give in, right?
Yeah, and you have to just like, look. First of all, you know, this is just my experience. Everybody's different. But yeah, I think at a certain point, it's nice to open up your ears a little bit.
Now, you mentioned wanting to be an athlete, and I saw you just tweet about wanting to play in the Celebrity All-Star game.
I mean, you know, Stephen A. Smith is lucky enough to have me, and he's going to have to court me. He's going to have to take me to dinner.
If you could put together like your best celebrity team, who would you put on there?
Celebrity team? I don't know. I don't know that many dudes that play. I mean, who's good? I don't know. I just want to play basketball.
Oh, Adam Sandler.
I'll let the coaches figure that out.
Yeah,
Sandler can play. That's my dude.
I hear he's good.
That's my guy. Yeah, he can play. You know why I like Sandler? Because he hustles his ass off. No one works harder than Sandler on the basketball court.
And off the basketball court?
As a person?
He works pretty hard. He should have been nominated for that Oscar.
Oh, no. I think he goes hard. I think he goes hard. I think he goes hard at all of it. So, yeah. And he should have been nominated for the Oscar. Whatever.
Now,
you know what I mean?
You guys are playing some pretty big venues. I was looking. You're playing like Wrigley, Fenway. What's it like as a sports fan walking into that venue knowing you're playing it that night?
Crazy. I mean, you know, it's one of those crazy things, man. I'll never forget, like, you know, I just took one of our oldest little girls to her first Laker game. Still Lakers. Yeah. LA's for the Lakers, not the Clippers. And it was so cool because I was thinking about the first time I went to Dodger Stadium, and you never forget the time you first see a baseball diamond. Like, so beautiful, and the grass is incredible, and it's this giant place. And so stadium is like, I mean, and then there's all the iconic things you think about. There's that great Elton John picture of him wearing the sequin Dodgers uniform at Dodger Stadium. It's like, Rolling Stone. I think of the Rolling Stones. I think of U2. I think of all these crazy bands that did this, and it's just like, it's a small list, So it's amazing. It's crazy.
Is it surprising, or did you always know that you'd get there?
I don't think I always knew that. I mean, I always kind of knew in my heart that I'd have some success. I mean, it kind of snowballed into this whole other animal. So I think I'm pretty humbled by that. I mean, I always wanted to. I always worked hard towards it. It doesn't always get you there, but I tried my best.
May 30th. It all starts in Chula Vista, and then it wraps up September 17th in Tampa. Dan Zolot, final thoughts?
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask. I assume this time at last year you were getting ready for the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, that's stressful.
What was that?
That was a stressful time in my life. I care to never visit again.
Why? Yeah, I was going to ask, what was that experience like looking back? You didn't enjoy it?
The very stressful time in my life. I wish to never visit again.
I get it.
Please.
That's too much pressure. And there's too many hands, right? There's a lot of hands in that pot.
Too much of a lot of things. Let's move on.
Got it. Adam, I really appreciate your time and talking to us. It really means a lot.
I'm excited to see my own transcript. I'm 40 years old. I can see my own transcript now as it's printed out in front of me, so I'm good, but let's move on.
Okay, got
what I'm saying?
Totally. Okay, but seriously, go and see this show. It's going to be amazing. Meghan Trainor going to be on the road with you. Leon Bridges, great freaking lineup. And also Memories is a beautiful record.
Love those guys.
Leon Bridges, his voice is unreal. And then Meghan Trainor as an all-around just artist, from writer to performer, and she dances like nobody's business.
Yeah, he's great. She's great. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great vibe.
Is it... I mean, obviously you're curating your show, right? When you're picking somebody like Meghan and Leon. So what goes through your mind? What blanks are you trying to fill?
You know what? I don't think of it that way. I think of just people I've met along the way. Leon, strangely enough, I tried to sign Leon before he had a record deal, and I kind of screwed it up because I just was I had all this shit going on and tried to sign Leon, and he didn't sign. He ended up signing with somebody else. So, I've always been a huge fan even before anybody knew who he was. But I'm so glad and so happy to see how much success he's had, and he's just had it. He's had it in the right way, which makes me really happy, and exactly what I would have wanted for him. So I'm super pumped up for him. And so that's, obviously I was super into having him on the tour. And Megan's just someone that's been around, and she's so cool, and know her through friends, and obviously she's super, super talented. So I mean, it's just going to be a great crew.
And now she's a fellow Voice UK judge. You both sit in the red chair.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool. Hey, I really appreciate you taking the time and talking to us this morning. It really means a lot, Adam. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, you guys. Just make me look cool.
Yeah, you are. You do it yourself. I appreciate you deeply. Seriously, thank you.
Right on. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Peace and love. Bye.